here. I'm here, guys. My camera at? Oh, I need to fix this. Hold on a second. What's up? What's going on? A little loud in my ears. Let me lower that. There we go. Let me lower this for y'all a little bit too. I don't know how loud it is for you guys. What's up? What's going on? Hey everyone. Appreciate y'all coming through. Gonna be kind of like a quick stream, real quick. If you guys haven't already saw my Tad. If you guys haven't already saw my video about the D23 stuff, I did just the park portion of it, so I kind of wanted to pretty much go over everything. I haven't seen any trailers or the movies that they announced or anything like that, so I kind of want to go over that kind of briefly, and discuss stuff with y'all. Like if you guys have any questions or anything. Hey Sierra, appreciate y'all coming through. Yeah, just kind of like a discussion panel or whatnot for you guys, for me, for I haven't watched everything. I just watched that video that I posted today. That's really the only thing that I've physically saw. So I kind of want to go over a bunch of different things real quick. And so I have all this stuff here that I kind of want to check out with you guys. So there's a bunch of things. Okay, so my beef here. Where's my I want to lower this pad. There. So there's a lot of different things. They actually just announced some other stuff too, of like what's being moved and things like that. There's also some people who are kind of like being negative about it too. I don't know if I want to watch that stuff or not, but the one thing that I did want to watch is this right here. So I want to watch this one right here. I don't know why that goes to the cursor speed. Table volume, da 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 da. I'm gonna do 1080p. I can do 1080p premium. Look at me. Enhanced bitrate. Ooh, that. I didn't tell you to start. So yeah, I want to watch this because I haven't seen any of the movies that they announced. I know like one or two that they've announced, but I kind of want to go over that real quick. Lower that a little. I also want to kind of watch these trailers. I'm not sure if I'm gonna have time today to watch these trailers, but I want to go over this and kind of just like the other stuff that's happening, pretty much. So we're gonna stop this video. We're just gonna go through it. Okay, gonna go through a lot of stuff. Appreciate you guys coming out, hanging out with me today. Home stream, yay! Home stream, new digs, new background. You know, moving things around, doing stuff. So, okay. So that being said, this is Disney Newcast. He usually does pretty good videos. I enjoy his videos. And this, he's talking about all the movies and the Pixar TV shows, all that stuff that's basically been announced. I haven't got a chance to watch it yet, so we're just gonna watch it. We're gonna go through it. Maybe, hopefully, watch some trailers at the end of this, but it is a 15-minute video, so we'll probably break this up. So yeah, let's just get right in.
Hi there, Walterners. I'm Jack, and this is DS1 Newscast. And yesterday was the entertainment showcase for D23 2024. And as we've come to expect, they've announced a lot of new details for upcoming Disney movies and also original series coming to Disney Plus as well. So we've got a lot to discuss. But before we do, be sure to subscribe down below, hit that notification bell as well.
Yep.
Stay up to date with all the latest news coming out of D23 here on the channel. And also, I'd like to say a special thanks to the official Walternir Club over on Patreon for always supporting the channel. But anyways, with all that being said, let's begin with Walt Disney Animation Studios, as the next movie
Yes.
to be released later on this year
Is Moana.
2, which arrives in
That's the only
theaters
one that I really know.
27th. And as part of this presentation,
Gotta watch this trailer though.
a brand new trailer for Moana 2, and this
Okay.
confirms that the sequel is actually set 3 years after the events of the first movie that came out in 2016. And now Moana is a big sister to her 3-year-old little sister called Samir, which is this character that you can see here in the trailer footage now. And
She's
as part of
feisty.
the presentation, we got further clarification over plot and synopsis for this movie, and it's going to follow Moana as she receives a call from her ancestors, and she'll then have to set out on another journey to the far seas of Oceania into dangerous, long-lost waters, sailing to an ancient island to then be able to break the curse and connect all the islands together once again through her wayfindings.
You can't hear him?
That's the synopsis.
Oh, that's why. Sorry. Because I had the volume. I had the volume down. There you go. That's better. Sorry. Sorry, that should be better.
Hi there, listeners. I'm Jack, and this is DS1 Newscast. And yesterday was the entertainment showcase for D23 2024. And as we've come to expect, they've announced a lot of new details for upcoming Disney movies and also original series coming to Disney Plus as well. So we've got to stay up to date with all the latest news of Animation Studios, as the next movie to be released later on this year is Moana 2, which arrives in theaters on November 27th. And as part of this presentation,
this storyline,
we've got a brand new trailer for Moana 2, and this confirms that the sequel is actually set 3 years after the events of the first movie that came out in 2016. And now Moana is a big sister to her 3-year-old little sister called Samir, which is this character that you can see here in the trailer footage now. And as part of the presentation, we got further clarification over plot and synopsis for this movie. And it's going to follow Moana as she receives a call from her ancestors, and she'll then have to set out on another journey to the far seas of Oceania into dangerous, long-lost waters, sailing to an ancient island to then be able to break the curse and connect all the islands together once again through her wayfindings.
I feel like Moana, how do you do a sequel to Moana that isn't kind of like a rehash of what? Like, you did, okay. Frozen is a little different. Like, you actually came up with a pretty good story of why Elsa got her powers. The first story is about everyone hating her and about her being alone. Stuff. The second one is about her finding her true path or whatever. Her mother actually having powers, or her tribe, or whatever. So that fits. This, I don't see it fitting. As much as I love the first Moana, and I don't think Lin-Manuel Miranda is gonna be doing the songs for the second Moana. So I feel like this is just like a cash grab. I feel like it's not gonna be good. I feel like Moana 2 is not gonna. And I hate to say that, because I really liked the first one. All the songs were great. We'll see, though. It's November. We'll see.
That's the synopsis. It's similar in a way to Restoring the Heart of Te Fiti from the original movie.
Yeah.
But obviously it's expanding the Moana universe in many ways to these other islands. It was also said that there's going to be a whole new cast of villains that Moana has to overcome. And Kakamora is going to be one of those villains. But there's going to be new adversaries for her to overcome there. And Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who's reprising the role of Maui, also stated that the biggest villain in many ways is the storm of all storms that Moana has to sail through. So that's something to keep an eye out for there.
The storm of all storms. That what is it? I don't know about this. It might still be an okay movie, but the plot will be just nothing.
Auli E. Cavallio was also on stage. She gave a performance of one of the songs from Moana 2. I would love to play it here in the video, but I can't for copyright reasons, so I'm sure it's somewhere on social media if you want to go check that out. But anyway, let's move on to the next movie, which comes out next year in 2025.
Hey,
and that's
Zootopia 2.
And it'll be arriving in theaters November 25th, 2025.
full year, November 25th. Okay, from Moana. See, this I can get with because Zootopia, there's so many different things that you can make because the world is already built for you to where, and they're cops and everything. So like, it's easier to make a movie about this than it is Moana 2. You know what I mean?
And this will see Jennifer Goodwin, Jason Bateman and Idris Elba reprise all of their roles for the movie. But Zootopia 2 is going to be set around trying to track down this new reptile character called Gary. And this character is going to be voiced by Academy Award winner Ke-Huy Quan from obviously Everything Everywhere All at Once fame there, and obviously Indiana Jones and Loki as well. And they also showed a very brief snippet of footage from Zootopia 2, and it showed Nick and Judy in a new part of town called Marsh Market. There wasn't much more given away about the synopsis of the movie, but it's going to be centered around tracking down this character of Gary. We don't know anything else about the plot at this time. Then the next thing to talk about is actually 2026 in terms of Walt Disney Animation, because that was
Frozen
when
3,
Frozen
guess what?
3 was originally set
to
come out. But they did talk about Frozen 3. We actually got this new piece of concept art for Frozen 3.
So now they're going to the heavens?
Frozen 3 is now actually being pushed back another year to November 24th, 2027. Instead of it coming out in November 2026, that's when it's being pushed back to. And they said that they're developing a story that's so big that it's probably going to need to be told over 2 installments. So Frozen 3.
Of course. Of course. Of course.
And Frozen 4 kind of being worked on side by side. That might be the reason why they're delaying it a little bit longer to kind of work on both these stories at the same time. But it is interesting that we don't know what they got scheduled for November 2026 in terms of the Walt Disney Animation Studios slate at this time. So keep an eye out for that. They might announce it next year as we get closer. Then we've got Pixar Animation. There was a lot announced here.
All right,
now,
Pixar.
I want to begin with some Disney Plus news, as there's a brand new series that's going to be coming out later on next year, and it's called Dream Productions, which you can probably guess already. It's an Inside Out spin-off series, which is going to be set between the events of Inside Out 1 and Inside Out 2.
I still have to see the second one. I heard it apparently did so well, and it was really good. I still have to watch it.
And it's centered around the production studio, Dream Productions, within the mind of Riley, where, you know, all the dreams are created. So it'll be interesting to see if it's a workplace comedy or something like that, and how abstract they go with a lot of these concepts for the episodes, because obviously it's dreams. So they've got a lot to explore here within this series. So that's coming out later on next year on Disney Plus in 2025. And then later on this year, actually December 6th, Win or Lose, which is a original Pixar series, which is going to be coming to Disney Plus. And at long last, we've got the trailer for this series, and this is going to be following a co-ed middle school softball team called the Pickles in the week leading up to their big championship game. And each one of the 20-minute episodes, there's 8 in total, is going to be following a different character in the exact same week. So it's a unique premise or concept for the series, as each one of the stories in a way will overlap and give more clues to the holistic storytelling that they're doing within the series. So that's coming out later on this year on Disney Plus. And then we come to the movie side of things for...
Yeah, okay, because it makes me wonder, are they just like pulling hairs, or like are they really... I feel like they're reaching on a lot of some of these. Like you can't, there's nothing else that you guys are doing. Now I further confirm when people said like the Parks Expo portion of it was so much better than the movie TV shows that they were. It makes sense because like I feel like, I mean, I'm not even halfway through the video. Let me cook, let them cook.
Pixar. And the first thing we've got to talk about is Elio, which is coming out June 13th, 2025. Now,
Elio's finally going to come out, maybe?
Production changes to this movie. Well, the first one being that when it was initially announced, it was going to be directed by Adrian Molina, who was the co-director and co-writer of Coco. But now the project is said to be steered and directed by Domi Shi, who is the director of Turning Red instead. So that's one of the big production changes. And then the other one is that Zoe Saldana is replacing America Ferrara as the voice of Elio's aunt in the movie. So some big production changes there. Whenever I hear production changes on this kind of scale, it does concern me a little bit that like maybe the production has floundered in their direction of what they want to do with the storytelling, and that might affect the end product. But I remain cautiously optimistic because I want original movies at Pixar to do well. Obviously, sequels have their place. We've just seen Inside Out 2 make $1.5 billion, but I really do want to see Pixar go in new directions with original movies.
Yes.
And speaking of
can we stop? Because I already know they have another Toy Story. Can we stop with these?
which, they've got a new original movie that they announced as well, which is called Hoppers, and it's going to be coming out in March of 2026. And no, not that Hoppers that you can see here, not Hopper from A Bug's Life, but in actual fact, they've given a premise for this movie, and just follow along with me here, as this is a bit of a wild premise, but this is going to follow a young girl called Mabel, who somehow transfers her mind into a robot beaver to then infiltrate their animal kingdom. And she winds up befriending a regal beaver called King George, and uniting the animals in their fight against the local mayor, who plans to destroy their home and develop the land that they call home into new property developments. So
I don't know. Having said that, I will say that I have been wrong before. It doesn't sound good, but I've been wrong before.
So that's the story, or the plot synopsis for this movie. It's a bit wacky and out there, but then again, that's kind of what we expect from Pixar. The character of King George is going to be voiced by Saturday Night Live alum Bobby Moynihan, and the villain of the movie, the local mayor, is going to be voiced by Mad Men star John Hamm. So that's Hoppers. It's coming out March 2026.
Hated it.
Also in 2026, June 19th, 2026 to be precise, Toy Story 5 will arrive in theaters. And this is being directed by Andrew Stanton, who directed Finding Nemo, Finding Dory, WALL-E, has been a co-writer on all of the Toy Story movies. So it's in good hands from that kind of perspective.
Yeah.
And he said that this new movie is going to be toys meet tech, or toys versus tech. And this will see Woody, Buzz, Jessie, all the gang reunite together. Even after the events of Toy Story 4, we'll see Woody and Buzz back together again. And will centre around the toys competing with technology.
With the iPad. Toys competing with the iPad. Okay, I do like this premise, though. Not that old. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Not that old song and dance. That's what I'm saying. Now, however, I will say that Toy Story does have, I would say, good stories in a sense. The last one was alright. This one does have a funny premise to it, though. I will say that. But can we just stop with the same, cash cow? Eventually you're gonna put it into the drain. What's gonna happen?
For the affection and the attention of their kids who used to play with them. And it was also said that there's going to be like 50 commemorative Buzz Lightyear toys within the movie somehow, and they're going to have some sort of malfunction where they're going to be stuck in play mode. So that's probably going to be a comedic gag being used throughout the whole movie as well. But not much more was given in terms of details on Toy Story 5. I personally think this plot synopsis is much stronger than the plot synopsis we had with Toy Story 4, which went all over the place in terms of splitting up Woody and Buzz and the gang of toys, and instead bringing them back together in this movie to overcome technology now competing for many children's attention. And
so you did not see Little Bo Peep, though. Where's Little Bo Peep? What happened there? Is that the reason why Woody came back? Maybe. Can we stop saying only in theaters? Because it's not only going to be in theaters. It's only going to be in theaters for like a couple months, and then it's going to be on Disney Plus. Don't say only in theaters. Just say in theaters. Okay? Can we stop that? Thank you.
So with that premise, I am hopeful that this kind of rounds out the
nitpicking
franchise in a much better way than personally what I thought Toy Story 4 did. So Toy Story 3 I think was the point to stop, but if they're going to tell this story, this might be able to be a good way to cap off the franchise with Toy Story 5.
Yeah, let's just cap it off.
And the last thing that Pete Docter, the president of Pixar, spoke about is that Incredibles 3 is currently in development at Pixar. There weren't any details yet released for the movie.
I love Incredibles.
Except for Brad Bird, who obviously directed Incredibles, and Incredibles 2 is set to return and direct this third installment of Incredibles 3. It hasn't got any sort of release date yet, but if I was to guess, I bet it's probably going to be that time slot of June 18th, 2027 for Incredibles 3. Then we move into Walt Disney Studios news, and I'm just going to briefly go over a lot of this stuff.
I love Incredibles 1 was amazing, and 2 was actually really good too. I mean, it took them 10 years to make it, but it was really good. So I can't wait for 3. I love Incredibles.
Because we got announcements, but not much in the way of detail. And the first thing is that Lilo and Stitch, the live action version of that, is coming out next summer, which is likely going to be May 23rd, 2025. And we've got our first look at live-action Stitch from Lilo and Stitch, which we can see here in this footage. Not much more was shown, obviously, we didn't get any sort of teaser trailer, but the fact that we've got this now and it's coming out next year, I expect a teaser trailer to come out later on this year sometime. Then it was also announced that Freakier Friday, which is the sequel to Freaky Friday, the movie from 2003.
What is this?
Is going to see Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis reprise their roles 22 years later. And this arrives next year, but actually it's coming to theaters in 2025. I'm kind of surprised about that. I thought it might just go straight to Disney Plus, but Freakier Fridays apparently arriving.
It might be kind of funny because they're older,
you know. There was also an announcement of a movie called Monster Jam, which is starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and it's a movie about monster trucks. No more details are really given except that announcement there.
Rock, Dwayne. Oh, I used to like you. You're just making me hate you now. It's like Kevin Hart too. They're just like, they're in everything. Like, can we stop now? I don't want to see. You're oversaturating yourself is what you're doing. You're literally in everything. And it's becoming annoying. It really is. I'm starting to just like Monster Jam. This is not going to be a good movie.
And then also we've received our first trailer for Snow White, which is coming out March 21st, 2025 in theaters. And
I gotta watch that trailer.
If you look at this footage right here that you can see, I think the art direction is actually very faithful to the classic animated feature.
It looks pretty cool.
Walt Disney's first animated feature. And the fact it looks like it's staying very faithful to the art direction of the animated classic gives me more hope for this movie in terms of, it's not going to try to do anything crazy in terms of the story. Obviously, we don't know what it's going to be like yet. But just judging from the trailer, I've got to say that I am cautiously optimistic about Snow White coming out in 2025. I wasn't before, but that trailer has actually got me to the point where I'm now cautiously optimistic and actually looking forward to seeing the movie in 2025. But then again, Pinocchio was fairly faithful to the original art direction as well.
I still haven't seen that.
I didn't really enjoy that movie that much. And these live-action remakes, in my opinion, need to stop, but they make a lot of money, or they have in the past, and so it is what it is. They're going to continue to do them. And then the next thing that they announced was Tron Ares, which we've obviously known about.
Tron Legacy, one of my favorite movies. I just love, like, first of all, the soundtrack was amazing. Soundtrack was just elite. Daft Punk killed it. And I just love, like, the blue and, like, you know, it's cool when you're, you know, when you're in a theater and everything's dark and the blue hue and it's bright and everything. Like, it's basically almost like being in the Tron ride on the light cycle run. It's so cool. And I love that. And that's what I wished Avatar Pandora was at Animal Kingdom. I just wish it was at night. I wish it was brighter and everything. And what sucks is that like 9 months out of the year, you can't even see it in the dark because it closed before it even gets dark, so you can't even see it. So coming up in the next couple months, when the time change happens and then it gets dark at like 5 o'clock, you'll actually be able to see it for a little bit. That'll be cool. But yeah, Tron looks awesome. But I don't know, why is it red though?
About for quite a while, but it's coming out next October 10th, 2025, and this saw Jared Leto, Greta Lee, Evan Peters come to the stage, along with the dude himself, Jeff Bridges, come to the stage as well. And it was announced that Tron Ares will feature the characters. Instead of staying within the digital world, they're going to be going out into the real world in some way. And also sticking with the tradition of, you know, Daft Punk did the music for Tron Legacy back in 2010.
Yes.
But this time around, it's got 9 Inch Nails composing the music for Tron Ares. So that's another announcement they made there as well. And then lastly, in terms of Walt Disney Studios productions, we've got Mufasa, The Lion King, which is coming out on December 20th, 2024. Mufasa. Some of the music is being composed by Lin-Manuel Miranda, obviously Hamilton, Moana and Encanto fame.
Yes.
And they also had Lee Boem perform one of the songs from the movie, which, if you're not familiar with Lee Boem, he performed the intro for Circle of Life from the 1994 animated classic.
Oh, really?
And this movie follows the story of Mufasa and his brother Scar, or back then as he was known, Taka, and how they became brothers. Now, personally, where I stand on this, we've got a trailer for this, and you're seeing some of this footage right now, but like, I saw the 2019 version of The Lion King, and it was fine, but like, right, I don't know who was asking for a prequel to The Lion King. Personally, I think a sequel would have made more sense, as they've already done that in the animated movies, so they could have just done that. But I don't know if it's got much buzz or hype around it, but we'll see. It's coming out, obviously, just before Christmas of this year.
They're just trying to milk it.
So that's going to be Disney's big release this holiday season, basically. And then next year, Christmas in 2025, for their big holiday release then, we've got Avatar 3. And James Cameron, the director of Avatar, did come to the stage, and he said that the movie's name, the Avatar 3, is going to be titled Avatar Fire and Ash.
So we got water,
and
now
he
fire.
Added that it's going to be going to new cultures, new biomes, new settings within the world of Pandora that we've never seen before. And he did state that it's not what you've come to expect from Pandora, but it is what you'll want when it comes to the final product, when you actually do end up seeing it. And
is that what he said?
Of that, there was no footage shown, just some concept art for
Tron,
Fire
yes,
and Ash.
I know, Tron,
the footage wasn't ready to be shown yet. So that's everything in terms of Disney Animation, Pixar Animation, Walt Disney Studios. That was announced at D23 for the entertainment showcase. But now it's over to you, Walton.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Yeah, the park information was way better than I feel like it was just lackluster, honestly. Like, I'm looking forward to Tron. I hope they don't mess it up. Toy Story 5 looks interesting. It, man. There's nothing really else, right? There's nothing else that I would ask for. And they're just like, I don't know. I've been slowly not messing with those types of movies. And even Marvel's been slacking. But Deadpool came out, so that's good. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's, that's why I've been slowly doing my anime stuff right now. Because there's not really anything, nothing excites me. When I look at all this stuff, it doesn't really excite me. Incredibles 3, that excites me. They don't have any info on it. I just know that's got to be good, right? So yeah, it's just, you may watch a few of those on Disney Plus, but nothing. Right, exactly. Yeah, there's nothing that's going to get you in it. Maybe Tron might get me in the theater just because that type of movie, you do want to be in the theater to kind of get that feel and the brightness and everything, and listen to the music. And maybe Incredibles, but yeah, other than that, there's nothing, man. Even Disney Plus, I don't even feel like watching those on Disney Plus half the time. And the movies that I were watching, I was watching them because I was posting them here because I'd never seen them before. So it was like first time reaction of watching these or watching it with you guys, So yeah, it is what it is, It is what it is. But yeah, that's that's the video. It's lackluster. I don't even want to watch the trailers, honestly, because there's not even many trailers to watch. You know. But what I did want to see though, he's got another one. So we're gonna watch Disney Newscast again and see what he says about the. I mean, basically what they're okay. What they're basically doing is they're getting rid of Tom Sawyer in the boat, and that's where they're gonna put Cars. Basically, they're gonna put it right there, which I'm fine with. You know. So we'll watch this. We'll watch this and get going. All right, so we got another video, guys. This is going to be the details on where Cars is going to be for the Magic Kingdom expansion, the new Frontierland details. And yeah, let's just get into it.
Hi there, listeners. I'm Jack, and this is DSMY Newscast. And with D23 2024 officially in the books, you know, it's behind us, Disney is still dropping news. They've revealed some big details about the massive expansion that's going to be coming to the Magic Kingdom, and it's actually been touted as the largest expansion in Magic Kingdom's history. And they've revealed this brand new piece of concept art to go along with it. So what we're going to do in this video is I'm going to dive in and dissect everything that we know about this huge expansion so far. I'm going to talk about the scale and scope of this project, you know, the actual size of these lands. I'm going to dive in and dissect everything that we know about this. What we're going to do...
Okay. Okay, what am I looking at right here? Okay, this right here. You know what that is? This looks like Splash Mountain over here. So that means this is Country Bears over here. And then that means down here must be Haunted Mansion of something. Something of the sort, right? Let's see. Country Bears. Oh, wait, no. This is where like the boat stuff, where the entrance for the boat used to be. So that means Haunted Mansion's over here somewhere. Okay. I gotcha.
In this video is I'm going to dive in and dissect everything that we know about this huge expansion so far. I'm going to talk about the scale and scope of this project, you know.
Oh, look at that. See? Perfecto. See? I love it.
The actual size of these lands and logistically how it could work from a construction standpoint over the next few years. But where I want to begin is in actual fact that Disney has now officially confirmed that to make way for this expansion, we're going to have to say goodbye to Tom Sawyer's Island and Rivers of America at the Magic Kingdom. They're going to be completely removing that whole section of...
I'm fine with that. I've literally never been on Tom Sawyer Island. I've never been on that boat. When I go, I'll actually be going probably Wednesday. When I go Wednesday, I will probably go on that just to see what it's like. And then I'm just going to be a one and done. That's it.
Of the Magic Kingdom to make way for this huge expansion. And they even said in the statement that to make way for this completely new frontier, the Rivers of America and Tom Sawyer's Island will be transformed into vast and rugged terrains for a rally race with some of the world's most iconic races, which is obviously the Cars attraction there. So they're going to be filling in all of the Rivers of America. Now, as you can see in the artwork, it does seem like there's some small pockets of water that we can see scattered throughout the artwork, but in no way is it Rivers of America as we know it, and it's not even going to be a shortened version of Rivers of America like what they did over in Disneyland back in 2015-2016 to make way for Galaxy's Edge. So they're going to be filling in the entirety of Rivers of America to make way for this huge
You want to go on the boat?
But the other important note here is Frontierland is going to be
next time
remaining,
we go,
at least in name only. The name Frontierland is going to be staying, as they referenced it many times throughout the article, even with this quote by the Walt Disney World Portfolio Executive Producer at Imagineering, Michael Hudgens, saying that we're going to put guests in the driver's seat as we quite literally explore a new frontier in Frontierland.
I kind of like that. Okay, I'm fine with them keeping Frontierland and kind of like, I guess, retheming it, you know, because there's not many, like, there's not many things you can do at Frontierland to keep it like old Western, right? There's just there's nothing else going for it. Big Thunder Mountain and Country Bears are the only two things, and then you got Pecos Bill, and then there's not really much that you can do with that, and there's not really a lot of stories that they have that you can put that stuff there. Oh yeah, absolutely, Joel. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you coming through, man. Hey Felix, what's up, man? Yeah, absolutely. Lewis, Nada, what's up? Welcome. Hey, you coming through? Yeah, we're just trying to figure out. People are hating on. I see videos that people are hating on them getting rid of Frontierland as the original Frontierland. I'm fine with it. It's it's just no one goes over there usually, and now that they go over there, it's because of Tiana. So, and now that they open Country Bears up, and then they're gonna refurbish Big Thunder Mountain. I mean, it makes sense. I'm okay with it. I've never been partial to Frontierland. People complain about it that they're changing it, but we'll probably watch those.
So the name Frontierland, I know there's been a lot of discussion around, taking down certain signs and Frontierland not being shown on certain posters, but it seems like they're committing to the name of Frontierland, but they want to change the idea of Frontier. Now, Josh D'Amaro did say at the Disney Experiences Showcase on Saturday that they were going to be going from the American West and exploring the American wilderness as well. Now, in the artwork, we can also see that the existing part of Frontierland that we all know at the moment, with the exterior facades of Frontierland all the way down to Country Bears, is still there within the artwork. That's going to be kind of themed to the American West, and then they're going to go beyond that into the frontier and into the American wilderness with this Cars area. So there's some big changes to the concept of what a Frontierland is at any one of these Disney parks, and it will be the first Frontierland that I know of that doesn't have a Rivers of America. By filling in the Rivers of America, they do free up a lot of land to be able to be used for attraction space and these brand new lands. And to be more specific about that, let's actually measure it out and see what the scale of this thing is. So if they fill in Rivers of America, you get roughly 10 acres of space.
Ooh, 10
just by
acres.
filling
Look
in
at
the
that.
basin of Rivers of America and using up Thomas Wise Island. But if you then add in the additional surrounding areas of Rivers America, the extra land to the sides, you get around 12 acres in total.
Ooh. And that's behind, because you see Haunted Mansion's right here. Right, this is Haunted Mansion. This is Small World. And this is Rapunzel's bathroom. But this is Haunted Mansion, so they have all this space. But remember, they're supposed to be doing I thought they're supposed to be doing a Haunted Mansion restaurant right here somewhere as well. So there's supposed to be some kind of restaurant right here. And also Villain's Land. Now, do they put Villain's Land here and then use this for Cars? Or do they come out here and do Villains out here? Who knows? Who knows? But they do have all that space there, and then they have all this back here. So technically they can utilize all this space, but we'll see. But that's what I would think. I don't think they need all this for Cars Land. I really don't. Because how much do they have? How many acres do they have for? Well, I guess it's about the same. I just hope I don't want them to cut it in half and then use Villains and Cars and it be like really small. I just hope they don't have like the really small land. It needs to be bigger.
Of Rivers America, the extra land to the sides, you get around 12 acres in total. And that's before you even go beyond the berm, the other side of the train tracks, and start using up space over there. All of this would be contained within the perimeter of the Magic Kingdom inside the berm. So you've got 12 acres of space there, which does make sense they're calling it the largest expansion in Magic Kingdom's history, considering that New Fantasyland and Storybook Circus was 10
see,
acres in total.
there
7
you
acres
go.
of that was New Fantasyland, 3 acres of that was Storybook Circus. So this would technically be the largest land expansion at the Magic Kingdom, being 12 acres in size. Now, as we can see in the
so
artwork,
big.
it does seem that the Cars area is using up less than half of what we could see
it's
from
just
Rivers
like
of America.
it's
if
just
it was
about
still
there.
So if we roughly measure that out on the map, it's going to be approximately around 4 to maybe 4.5 acres for this Cars themed area. Now, I'm sure they're probably going to end up calling it something like Frontierland. I know Meta has already said that in the Experiences showcase. So they're probably going to have some sort of puntastic name for this Frontier Land section, which is going to be themed around cars. But that is actually much smaller than what we see with Cars Land over in California Adventure, as that over there is 12 acres in size, with all of Radiator Springs leading into Radiator Springs races, but you've got the entire town there. Whereas this is going to be a major e-ticket attraction, and then you're going to have a much smaller, family-friendly attraction, and they're going to be kind of connected through this kind of rugged wilderness of Frontierland. Now, obviously, if they're using up around 4 to 4.5 acres for cars within this area of Rivers of America,
that means
just within the 12 acres of Rivers of America, that means they've got around 7.5 to 8 acres to work with for Villains Land, which I'm very excited about seeing come to fruition. They are definitely working on Villains Land. The important,
which is still enough land. You know what I mean? Cars Land is weird to you. You wouldn't even think Cars is relevant anymore. That's for a whole land to be around it. You don't have young. You've been hearing about Villains Lands too. I didn't think that Cars would be at Magic Kingdom either. That seems weird to me also. I do feel like Cars is probably one of the only ones that, like, one of the only announcements that doesn't make sense to put that there, because they're just kind of meshing it. You know, they wanted to do something, right? And they just didn't know what to add there, and they didn't want to just add one thing, which was Villains Land, which fits perfectly at Magic Kingdom. It shouldn't be anywhere else. So that fits perfectly. Animal Kingdom, Encanto, and Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones, but it does fit better there. Or Indiana Jones should technically fit in Hollywood, but I digress. Cars doesn't seem like a fit in Magic Kingdom, so it seems weird to me.
thing I don't think a lot of people picked up on, but it was noted in the presentation that Josh D'Amaro said that everything that was announced should be complete and open within 5 years. So that puts a time frame of around 2029, end of 2029, to get everything open within this decade. That is a very realistic time frame to get this sort of stuff done, considering that Galaxy's Edge took roughly around 4 years to do from the very beginning at Disneyland to when it opened. So 4 years, more than enough time to get this thing going and complete. Now,
they better, because it took them 5 years to complete Tron. Granted, it was during COVID. It took them 5 years to complete Epcot. And you see how that looks.
Now let's go back to the artwork and look at...
I'm not complaining. I am complaining a little bit, because I just know they can do better than that, and I want them to be better, I want them to show me what I know that they can do, instead of sometimes half-assing it. And I hate, it's constructive criticism. That's all it is. Because I want it to flourish, but these announcements are good though. More stuff means more rides and more things.
At what we can see within this brand new piece of artwork, and
Yes.
It's definitely new terrain that they're going to be bringing to Frontierland is very much inspired by the Rocky Mountains, which will obviously draw inspiration from all the geographical and geological regions of the Rocky Mountains. So that's Montana, Idaho, Wyoming, Utah, Colorado, and then ending in New Mexico, which does make sense because Big Thunder Mountain geologically takes inspiration from Utah with
Yeah.
the Bryce Canyon rockwork there. So to have the Rocky Mountains kind of integrated, it does extend out that kind of frontier on the west of America for Frontierland.
So it fits,
and
it fits a little bit.
Judging from the concept art, we can now expect
but they're making
Frontierland
it fit
to include
That's the
snow-capped mountains and hot springs and huge geysers like we see within Yellowstone for inspiration. So although we're saying goodbye to Rivers of America, which I personally really did like having within Magic Kingdom, that waterway, the tranquility of it, I think it just adds something to.
Too many people want to jump in there. Too many people want to go swimming. I've seen it within the last year. I've seen at least 2 people in that water. Get it out. Get the water out. People just think there's water and they just want to swim. You know what I mean? Just get it gone. We'll have less issues with people in water. I'll tell you that.
To the park in a whole different way, but to actually have a unique Frontierland different from, Disneyland and Disneyland Paris and Tokyo and stuff like that, and have it unique to the Magic Kingdom, and maybe bring their own type of tranquility of having the wilderness within the Magic Kingdom, I think is going to add an awful lot to this park, because in terms of the Magic Kingdom, it's a lot of concrete and buildings. It's not a lot of landscaping, and so to have this beautiful landscaping that people can explore without having to take any sort of watercraft on over to go see it on Tom Sawyer's Island will open up this whole area and add a lot of capacity to the Magic Kingdom for walking space, because just having additional walking space adds more capacity to a park like this. Now, it was said within the article that this is going to be an original Cars adventure, and as we can see in the artwork, it definitely does not look like Radiator Springs Races. But we're going to have to wait and see how much of that original Cars adventure is not going to be necessarily the same ride system of Radiator Springs Races. And as I said in my previous video on this,
it may be a similar ride
much
system
different to how it is in California. Florida gets a lot of incremental weather, lots of thunderstorms, and that would shut down an outdoor attraction like this. So it'll be interesting to see what ride system they go with, and if it's a brand new ride system and not just the same slot car ride system that we see with Radiator Springs Races over in California, and it's something new. They have said it's an original Cars adventure. And then the other one's going to be a family-friendly attraction, probably some sort of flat ride within this space as well. But now,
please don't. No tomato stuff. Cars Project would be better at Hollywood, I think. Yeah. I would think that too, because you already have Toy Story there and everything, so it would fit a little bit better there. But yeah, it rains a lot in Florida. It's hot in Florida. Hopefully they do maybe like some not 4x4s, but like some enclosed like a RAV4 or something, some like an enclosed car, so you can still ride it, and you could have like the rain and still be dry. That would be kind of cool, but I don't think that's gonna. I think it's gonna be one of those rides where if it rains, it just rains and you can't do nothing about it, and the ride's gonna be shut down. It's just gonna be one of those types of rides. Granted, Magic Kingdom doesn't have many of those, or not even Magic Kingdom. Disney doesn't have many rides that shut down during storms. There's not many of them. I think Tron might be one of the only ones, if I'm not mistaken. The Astral Orbiter. The Speedway is like one of the only things that's completely outside. And then like Dumbo, but Dumbo you can still ride. I think they still let you ride when it's raining. Weird. So yeah, we'll see.
Now let's move on into Villains Land. We haven't got a ton of details, but we do understand that it's going to be at the moment roughly around 8 acres in size. That's before they even go beyond the berm of the Magic Kingdom.
That's if they go into that section. That's not. We don't know. You'd rather have some people swimming in the water. That's true, but now we won't even have to worry about gators or people swimming in the water. So that's always good too. No gators, no people.
Once they start extending beyond the train tracks and beyond the berm, it makes things much more difficult from a logistical standpoint to construct.
Yeah.
Because they would then need to shut down the railroad, which if they did that again would be very disappointing, as you know, the railroad has just reopened after a very long closure period, you know, a few years there. So to close it again to see another expansion, I think a lot of people would be annoyed about that. So I reckon that they're going to try and stay within the perimeter of the Magic Kingdom here with Villains Land and not have to shut down the railroad. And you may say, well, they'll have to do it anyway because you need to get construction equipment in and out for obviously this Cars area and Villains. But if they're removing the water...
Oh, look at that. There's no water. Look at that. In the boat, look at that. The boat has a track. I did not know that. That's interesting. So this is all the water being sucked out. And the boat is actually on a track. That is interesting. I mean, that makes sense. I didn't know that, but it makes sense. Because why would you not do that? That would be completely stupid to put a boat there and just let someone willy-nilly just drive the boat. Does not make sense at all. It does make more sense to put it on a track. But it is interesting just to see. Because I never even thought that. Who would think that? To like, oh, that boat's on a track, obviously. You would never think that. But when you see it, it makes sense. It makes perfect sense. You knew the boat was on a track? How come you didn't tell me? I never knew. I never knew that. That's hilarious. So, okay. So, yeah. Does this look like enough space to put a Cars ride? It does. You could put a Cars ride here. Definitely. And then whatever's left back here, then that should be enough space also for Villains Land, but I want more space. I do. That's hilarious to see, though.
From Rivers of America, they've already got a bridge that opens and closes for the train, which is obviously to move the Mark Twain riverboat into the dry dock. So they've already got access there into the expansion zone. I did not know that. And obviously, if they're going to be removing the water levels in the basin of the Rivers of America there, you've got a lot more height to work with. You could probably get construction equipment in and out underneath the train tracks without even having to close the railroad. So it's not completely 100% said yet whether they're going to be closing the railroad, but I see it as there's possibility that they could keep it open and work within that section, put construction walls up without having to go beyond the actual train tracks themselves. And logistically, from a financial perspective, if they go beyond the train tracks, that's where they would have to be land graded to make it more suitable for construction. And that's when the cost proposal for these projects start to skyrocket in terms of having to do a lot of preliminary groundwork before they can even go vertical. Whereas if they just fill in and flatten the Rivers of America, they're ready to go. You know, the land is pretty much treated, it's ready to go there. It's stable land to build upon. So very interesting that they're moving in this direction with it. Now, the original proposal, what I heard was that Coco and Cars were both in consideration. Cars was going to be phase 2, Coco was going to be phase 1. Coco was the front runner, had a lot of work put into it. But Imagineering apparently had a kind of pitch presentation meeting for the two proposals, and the Cars proposal was much better put together from a financial perspective to show a greater return on investment strategy through merchandise sales that they could point toward Disney California venturing all the merchandise they sell within Cars Land. And clearly that is what won over.
Ain't it a shame though that's what it takes to get Cars approved instead of Coco? Granted, Coco is probably not the right fit for Magic Kingdom. I mean, you can always make it fit, but I feel like that doesn't really I guess fit 100% there. I mean, Cars doesn't either, let's be honest. But it sucks to where like the reason why Cars went over Coco is because they thought they could sell more merch for Cars than they do Coco, which I feel like just because they have more movies for cars. You know, I don't know. It sucks. That's the way it has. That's the way it kind of went down.
Of the executives with that strategy, whereas Coco, they've still got the plans for it, and we can see the Coco attraction over at Disney California Adventure, but the Coco idea was very fleshed out, but it would have required them building west of Beyond Big Thunder over in that sort of section over there.
And that
But
would have
what's
been
interesting
fine.
is that considering they're filling in Rivers of America now for these two lands, they're still leaving that space over there to the side of Big Thunder Mountain open. So if they're not going to need the dry dock anymore for the riverboat, that space becomes open for an attraction. And so maybe we will see Coco at some point in the future
next
over
10
on that side there,
years.
considering they got so far in the development of that attraction
You love
for
Coco,
the
you
Magic
never
Kingdom.
got. Yeah,
Now,
never
in terms of the
Cars Hype.
Moana
Cars Hype
attraction
is
in
alright.
Adventureland, from what I heard, it was ready to go. It's a ready-to-go project that they've still got on the table. But the
Wow.
Moana attraction would have needed a whole different construction team over there and different set of infrastructure changes in that sort of corner. So they're trying to contain all the construction together, so therefore it doesn't impact as much backstage for Magic Kingdom, and also it doesn't impact too much of the guest facing infrastructure within the park as well. So that's very interesting. Magic Kingdom is going to be receiving 4 new attractions. One of those is a family friendly attraction, 3 of those are supposedly going to be major e-tickets. Within Villains Land, we can see the concept art shows a roller coaster, and it's an inverted
we need more roller
with
coasters.
inversion loops and stuff like that, and it seems like it's themed around Maleficent, and we can also see
That'll
Maleficent's
be kind of
dragon
a
in
cool
there.
one.
So it's that scene within Sleeping Beauty when Prince Philip fights Maleficent. If that's what they're doing for that roller coaster, that will be phenomenal, in my opinion. I can't wait to see that happen. Villains Kingdom, they've confirmed once again in the article that they are very much leaning into this kind of twisted, tormented theming for villains. They're really leaning into that kind of scary element.
Ooh.
Plus, another point which I don't think many people are talking about is that Magic Kingdom is the heart of Halloween at Walt Disney World.
It's the only.
It's a big revenue generator for Magic Kingdom. So if they're going to have Villains Kingdom within the Magic Kingdom, that's going to pull a lot of people towards Halloween at the Magic Kingdom with Not So Scary. People are going to want to go celebrate Halloween within Villains Kingdom. But also by having this Cars area within Frontierland, they can also do that kind of Halloween overlay that we see over in Cars in California, with that kind of more whimsical trick-or-treat Halloween costume
Oh, that's cool. I
overlay
didn't know
for the
that they did
cars,
that.
which will be more suitable for the
Not only that, Villains Land, you can get villains at Halloween, like more villains. You know what I mean? That'll be kind of. Everything that's a Disney ride is on track of some kind for say. Oh yeah, but Disney is the best at. Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, I thought a boat wasn't part of it, but it is. So yeah, but no, yeah, that I mean, Villains is made for Magic Kingdom for multiple reasons, and Halloween is another reason because now we can add more villains to Villains Land, and it fits now. Not even just for Halloween, but it fits for everything else. So you can have just random villains come by. Can I get a Shadow Man villain? Can I get him? Can I get Shadow Man? Please give me a Shadow Man. They don't want to do Shadow Man. They're not. That's why they didn't put him for Tiana. It's the same reason why they won't have a Shadow Man.
The little ones to enjoy new parts of Not So Scary at Magic Kingdom as well.
I'm digressing a lot.
They're making a big play for Halloween at Walt Disney World with these 2 projects as well, and it's a major revenue generator for them. So I think that also played into the announcement of Cars and Villains Kingdom being done together within Rivers of America. And another point is that Tom Sawyer's Island and Rivers of America, although it was pretty, placemaking wise and theming wise, and I liked the tranquility, it was underutilized space within the Magic Kingdom.
It is a boring. I mean, I never bet on it technically, but it looks boring. I'm gonna go on it just to say I went on it, and then that'll be that.
Didn't have much attraction capacity. I bet they've got the numbers on how many people were going over to Tom Sawyer's Island each day.
Not many.
So it makes sense that if they want to add attraction capacity, they remove Tom Sawyer's Island in place of this.
And they put a whole new 2 rides.
By doing that, they make it a lot easier to access Villains Land to the side of Haunted Mansion as a direct pathway into Villains Land over there. So it makes a lot of sense thematically that like Haunted Mansion becomes the the beginning place marker for
For
Villains
Villains
Land, to
Land.
kind of signpost you
Yeah.
down towards Villains Land down there. And I'm personally got my hopes up that they're going to do a Haunted Mansion restaurant in that zone. So I know there were some plans to do it to the side of Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
If they're going to send guests on a pathway down there, potentially we might see something like that. I don't have that confirmed. That's very much just personal speculation at
That
this
would be
time.
cool. They
But
need
now it's over
Haunted
to you,
Mansion
Walt Disney. I would
restaurant.
love to hear
That would
all
be
of
so
your
cool.
opinions on this brand new piece of concept art for the Magic Kingdom with this massive expansion of the New Frontierland. We don't have a name for it yet, but I'm guessing that's what they're probably going to end up titling it, New Frontierland for the Magic Kingdom, in a way. And
I mean, I don't
sad to
care
see
what it's
Rivers of
named,
America
honestly.
and Tom Sawyer's Island go. Are you happy with the replacement here being this new tranquil wilderness setting instead within the Magic Kingdom? I'm personally going to remain cautiously optimistic that it will be equally as tranquil as Tom Sawyer's Island was, to go over there and explore Tom Sawyer's Islands. But I am very optimistic about Villains Land within Magic Kingdom, and it happening within the next 5 years, because they're building within the perimeters of the Magic Kingdom and using up the space of Rivers of America to do so. So with that being said, be sure to subscribe down below, hit the notification bell, because from what I've heard, more blog post announcements are happening later on this week, so I'll be back again to just...
Okay, so we have more information coming. Very optimistic about Villains Land. I'm fine with New Frontierland. Frontierland was okay, but again, I mean, it had the rides, actually. You know, like Splash Mountain, Big Thunder Mountain, and Country Bears was fine, you know. But now that they put Tiana right there, so it's weird. I mean, I don't. They got rid of the shooting gallery, so I'm fine with it. It doesn't matter. I just want more rides. I want it to mesh well, and that, you know, I want those to be like good, exciting rides. So that's all. That's all I want. Yeah, so I boo everything. I hope the Cars ride is okay, at least. Villains needs to, because, you know, they're trying to compete with Epic Universe now. So they saw Dark Universe. So even though they've been planning the Villains Land for a while, because they knew what Dark Universe was doing, so it makes sense, right? But the more the merrier, right? More stuff means people can space out a little bit more. We can get rid of certain virtual queues and add new virtual queues, so that'll be fun, right? So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It looks pretty cool. And yeah, I mean, I wish they had something, though. I want them to have something on you see, a Mickey View's got it too. He just posted the video. I wish they had information on the monsters. I really wish they did, because that's what I want to see. I want to know more about that. Oh, actually, this is what we have too. Check this out. A haunted restaurant seems that would be on the menu. Ooh, I know, right? Eyeballs, like eyeball cupcakes or something, right? Or like cake pops that are like eyeballs with skewers or something. That would be so cool. Aren't they doing that for like one of the boats? Isn't one of the boats supposed to have Haunted Mansion restaurant? I don't know. But look, we have, this is what apparently the ride's supposed to look like. Look at this. Look at this. Okay. So this portion right here looks like it's the entrance. Right? The extra entrance and exit. And then I assume it starts this way. No, it probably doesn't. It probably starts this way. I can't tell because it's the back side of it. You can't really tell, but so this is the entrance and exit, and then over here is the ride itself inside. So it looks like it just loops and loops and loops 15 million times, which is interesting. Seems crazy. Can we get, yeah, let's get up there. I love it. I love it. So we come here. We loop around. Boom, boom. Where does it go? Boom. Does it go this way? And then boom. And it disappears. Or it comes this way. I don't know. It seems interesting. I feel like it starts this way. Just because it's high. And it comes down. Because it is a suspended coaster, mind you. Oh yeah, it goes through there and then it comes back through the... Okay, so there's like a door or something that goes through there. That is so cool. Right? What's weird is because there's a section here that's below, and then there's a section here that's up top. So I wonder if this is the exit, and then it like raises up or something, and then this is the entrance, and then it does all this. Because I do feel like this is... I do feel like this is the exit portion, and then this side is the entrance start of it. I really do feel like it, right? So it goes here, wraps around. Yeah, that's what I feel like, man. That looks cool. I can't wait. I want more coasters. I like the coasters. Tron is cool, even though it's, I can't really record anything. Guardians is the best because I can just record on my gimbal no matter what. It's fine. And Rock and Roller Coaster is just I have to use a GoPro. You see, like, look at these videos. You see what I mean? Like, Iger risks most important asset with Frontierland expansion. What does that even mean? Eyeballs, ice cream sherbet. That's right, man. That's right. I don't like this song. So yeah, I don't want to watch that long video. Too long of a... This guy too. Disney World destroyed. Epic Universe response creates Frontierland fiasco. Like, why is that bad? You really like the boat in Tom Sawyer Island? Nobody goes on Tom Sawyer Island. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to do all that stuff. Let me see. Let me just make sure there's anything else that I did. I guess we can watch that. I'll probably end up getting mad at it though. So let's go ahead. Let's check it out. Okay? Just hear him out.
At the D23 Experiences panel, Josh D'Amaro announced Cars Land, also Villains Land, and many other exciting things that might be coming into Disney parks. The only thing he left out is where it's all going, and we think we know. Why? Because the concept art seems to reveal that they will be destroying large parts of Magic Kingdom to make this happen. Let's talk about that on That Park Place.
Okay, so this is an older video before they officially announced it, right? I guess.
That Park Place. And here with me is theme park guru, Mr. Vash Sky. Vash, we have got a lot to talk about this morning.
A lot to talk about this morning, but we had to start small and then go big and then go small again. No,
I'm just going to point out here that during no part of that panel did they talk about what was going to be replaced at a Walt Disney resort. It was all, we're going to add this, we're going to add this, we're going to put in this new land over at Disney Hollywood Studios. There was a massive reveal here, and there's a clip that I've asked Vash to add to the channel here, and, well, here we go.
Where?
Where, Dwight?
Seems like you already know where.
Oh my. And this is not the only time that...
Oh, that's my favorite show of all time. question. Do you think that they weren't going to destroy something or get rid of something that wasn't making money or that's useless in the parks? Or you thought they were just going to keep expanding and keeping all the stuff that no one goes to? Like, what was your thought process? Especially Magic Kingdom. Like, you knew Magic Kingdom, okay, an expansion, but you also knew, okay, wait, we already know there's only little space left. So where did you think it was going to go? You didn't know that they were going to get rid of some things, right? I mean, out of Hollywood, I knew for a fact, I knew 100% Monsters Land is going to be, it's going to get rid of Disney Junior and it's going to get rid of the launch bay. 100%. I already knew that. I knew it. You know how I knew it? Because nobody goes back there. The only reason they go back there is to see Chewbacca and Darth Vader, which they can be moved. They can be completely moved somewhere else. It's totally fine. They used to have the animation studio back there. They got rid of it. That place is useless back there, right? Granted, I wish they would have kept Disney Junior. I do kind of like Disney Junior. I wish they would have expanded on Disney Junior in a way to kind of have a little bit more of those characters back there, or maybe like just a whole like Disney Junior area, except for just Disney Junior. I wish they did something there. But Monsters makes sense better there. Never been on Space Mountain or any of those roller coasters types of WD except for Goofy Barnstormer. Yeah, Barnstormer's nothing. It's a good like kiddie coaster, it's perfect kiddie coaster. But Monsters makes sense right there for multiple reasons, because it's going to be close to Toy Story. You'll be able to connect that to Toy Story, and then you'll be able to connect it back to, to that entrance as well. So you'll have that whole area. I wonder if they'll connect it to the other side, to Hollywood, where Rock and Roller Coaster might be. I don't think so. I think they'll connect it right where you enter, and then they'll connect it to the side of Toy Story. I think that's those two entrance and exits where they'll connect it. But it makes sense going there because there's nothing there. It's a useless, I don't want to say useless. It's just an area that is perfect for a new land to go to, right? Even though I would have liked Disney Junior to be either moved or Disney Junior to have like a bigger area for kids. But if they're putting monsters there, it just makes sense. So
that we're going to be having this discussion because obviously the Disney's Hollywood Studios announcement, there are several cherished attractions that might be destroyed in order to bring in, I guess, a Monsters Inc. roller coaster or whatever. Could be the Animation Courtyard, could be Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular. It could be Star Tours, the only good Star Wars ride they have at Disney's Hollywood Studios.
Star Tours is not that great. I will give them that it's very close to Rise of Resistance. I feel like Rise of Resistance has more pomp and circumstance, like it has more theatrics to it, right? But I don't want to say it. I don't think that Star Tours is better than Rise of the Resistance. I won't say that. I feel like he's objectively probably, or in my opinion, I feel like that's not right, but okay.
In my opinion.
There you go.
But what we're talking about today is the concept art that seems to reveal that Rivers of America is going to be destroyed here
Oh,
at
no.
Walt Disney World Resort. Right here, this is Big Thunder Mountain, and I'm having trouble spotting it. Is this Liberty, not Liberty Square, but is this the walkway for Frontierland right here, Vash, or is this the walkway for Frontierland? Go ahead.
Yeah, it can be a little bit deceiving there. So if you use Tiana's Bayou Adventure and Big Thunder in the back to kind of line up the shot, you can actually see kind of where you're supposed to be positioned if you were looking at this in real life. And then
Well, this would be outside of the park if you were. Is this supposed to be Tiana's Bayou Adventure right here?
Yes, that's Tiana's Bayou Adventure. And then at the very bottom
Big
of that.
Thunder. So this is all wetlands right now. When I say wetlands, there's a river going through here right
Yes.
now, and this is Tom Sawyer Island.
Yes.
So it sounds
You can actually
like
you can
it
see
I don't
sounds
know
like
where
they're
they got this
destroying a
image
large part
from,
of
but
this
it's a
park right
bad
here.
image.
By the way, one of my favorite spots in the entire park right here is this nice walkway right next to water.
Mhm.
It gives you the feeling that you're not in a completely artificial environment. And now it's going to be
Mhm.
replaced with something that will have living cars in it.
Oh yes, and that is absolutely going to be the case right there. And for anybody who might doubt what is going to be happening to the amazing Rivers of America, this is a little bit blown up version of that artwork. You can see actually at the very bottom the Liberty Bell dock that you would board. So this is Rivers of America. This is
So they're going to have a dock
Tom Sawyer's
that's
Island.
not going to go to water.
Well, apparently that's what they're going to have because you can see right here. This is Google Maps. This is the same place that concept artwork is based on. It's right there. This is what they're going forward with. And if you actually read the Disney Parks blog post, they actually say it outright. So we'll go down here and we'll get started. This past weekend at D23, the Ultimate Disney Fan Event, Disney Experiences Chairman Josh Giamaro revealed exciting new details about what's coming to Walt Disney World. Oh, details, did he? I don't know. Gonna need some more explanation on that one. In addition to getting up close and personal with monsters and villains, soon
feel like
you'll
they're
be able to explore
nitpicking
the
now.
uncharted territory of the Great Outdoors with an expansion in Frontierland themed around Pixar Animation Studios cars. Now, before we get to that, the Beyond Big Thunder project that was touted as kind of a what-if segment at the 2022 D23 Expo, a lot of people thought, well, okay, you can kind of go like around the river. You can kind of go around Big Thunder. You don't necessarily have to remove Rivers of America in order to make this happen. Not too dissimilar from how Star Wars Galaxy's Edge was incorporated into Disneyland in California. And you can see actually the Google Maps here, there's kind of a lot of land around Rivers of America, around these wetlands right here. So a lot of people were thinking that that's what they would end up doing. Now, obviously, the Big Thunder or Beyond Big Thunder project changed a little bit. Obviously, Coco and Encanto were removed, but the Villains Land, it looks like, is going forward. More on that on future That Park Place coverage. But we didn't get any of those. We got this car's concept right here. And if you look through the art, I didn't notice this at the time, Jonas, but you can actually see in this piece of concept artwork
There's
for
Big
this
Thunder Mountain
car's edition, you can see Big Thunder right there. So
There it is. Yeah,
Right?
that's a very good point. Also, this was pointed out by, I believe, a former Imagineer. It's
That image is
incredibly
more
doubtful
Universal Harry
that
Potter-esque.
maintenance will want a ride vehicle that goes through actual water
Wait, is
and
our
actual mud
Harry Potter
in the same way
style.
that Kilimanjaro goes through water and mud. I don't know if it actually even goes through much mud. I think they probably.
I mean, the art style, it's kind of like, I mean, it's an art style, so it's not necessarily gonna be like, one for one in that regard to something else. It's just like it's just like the art style that they chose for that as concept art. Just someone who drew it with a certain color, because it's Pixar, so they kind of use that kind of. It almost looks like crayon-y or pastel or, type, like art style. So I don't know if it's Potter-esque, but I mean, you might be right.
Shut down up.
But what was funny is that he said The Great Riverboat. Is it great? Is it great? Is it that great? I mean, it's okay, I guess. But I mean, I really do feel like it is being underused, and it is space that can be used up to put actually something there that will attract people. I don't know how great it is. I just really feel like they might be just purists in that regard, and just doesn't like the change that's coming with Frontierland. I'm not sure.
Operations when it's muddy for that one.
We'll see.
So I'm not seeing this coming out in the anywhere near the concept art.
I would think so. I think there's some trickery to be had here. But it does say in this specific Disney Parks blog post, it's time to leave Radiator Springs and head west into exciting new locations to make way for this completely new frontier, the Rivers of America and Tom Sawyer's Island. Again, folks, this is Disney Parks blog. This is Disney's official announcement. Will be transformed into vast and rugged terrains for a rally race with some of the world's most iconic racers.
Well,
right there, folks.
They hate Tom Sawyer.
I haven't been on the boat.
They don't like Mark Twain because they're problematic. There's some words that are used in the in Huckleberry Finn that, and of course Tom Sawyer, because they're of the time. Even though Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn are very progressive and very accepting of different races, the fact that they use the language of the time to refer to one of these characters, that book is no longer acceptable. So they can't use that, even though the parks don't reference any of those words. They did at least get rid of Injun Joe, that was written on one of the rafts that would take you from the dock to Tom Sawyer Island. Also, Tom Sawyer Island, I'm not sure, is there anything sold on Tom Sawyer Island?
I believe it did used to have a little eatery at one point. However, I don't have...
Hold on.
One of these...
There, folks.
They hate Tom Sawyer Island. They don't like Mark Twain because they're problematic. There's some...
Where did you get that information? They hate Tom Sawyer Island. Maybe they do. I've never been to Tom Sawyer Island. I can tell you that I probably won't like it because it's a waste of time. Get on this little boat, you go to the island, you walk around, you see nothing, maybe you catch a bear, who knows? And then you come back. There's nothing there. If they do hate it, they hate it because it's not generating any money. It's not causing people to come. It's not generating people to come rush to go look at that. People are not going to Disney to go to Tom Sawyer Island. They're not. They're going to Disney so they can ride Haunted Mansion. They're going to Disney so they can ride Tiana, so they can ride Big Thunder Mountain, so they can ride Peter Pan, so they can ride Pirates, so they can get on Carousel, so they can ride Buzz Lightyear, so they can ride the People Mover, so they can do Seven Doors. They're not coming to the Magic Kingdom to go on Tom Sawyer. They're going for Jungle Cruise, not Tom Sawyer. It's boring. They hate Mark Twain. How do you know they hate Mark Twain? Now people hate Mark Twain for some reason, and now you're just gonna accidentally throw in why they hate Mark Twain? That doesn't make no sense. So they can write it Small World. Yeah, exactly. French impress. Yeah, maybe it's the art style. Yeah, it's something like that. This guy's just riffing. I don't, and maybe he knows something that I don't. Maybe he does a little more research to, or maybe he's putting pieces together to fit whatever he's, whatever he's spitballing. I can tell you, if I worked there, I would hate Tom Sawyer too. I go there all the time, and I hate Tom Sawyer. You know why? Because I feel like it's a waste of space, and I'm not going there. I never went there. What's the point of going there? I barely do the Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse. You know why? Because there's nothing to see there. The only thing is a great view all the way at the top. There's a great view. That's it. Nothing else. It's boring. Nobody goes on it. It's a waste of space. And it's a lot of space that can be utilized for at least 2 rides. Just in the little just in the little water area that you can see. And then even further back, you have more land. So like, what's the
some words that are used in Huckleberry Finn that and of course Tom Sawyer because they're of the time, even though
what does that have to
Tom
do with
Sawyer and
anything?
Huckleberry Finn are very progressive and very accepting of different races. The fact that they use the language of the time to refer to one of these characters, that book is no longer acceptable. So they can't use that, even though the parks don't reference any of those words. They did at least get rid of Injun Joe, that was written on one of the rafts that would take you from the dock to Tom Sawyer Island. Also, Tom Sawyer Island, I'm not sure, is there anything sold on Tom Sawyer Island?
I believe it did used to have a little eatery at
I
one
don't.
point. However, I don't know if that's still there. Unfortunately, when I went in, not this August, but last August, I wasn't able to actually get onto Tom Sawyer's Island. So I don't know that firsthand, but I know in Tom Sawyer's history, at least out in Disneyland, and I believe the same in Walt Disney World, they used to have shops and eateries. And right now you have vignettes, displays of Frontier Woodsmen out there. I forgot. Is it Fort Longhorn out there to Tom Sawyer's Island in Walt Disney World?
I don't actually know the name of the fort, although I had a lot of fun running through there as a child. I always like to jump out at people in those caves. Now, of course, we also know that actual bear.
Is that why he's mad? He's mad because it's ruining his childhood now? It's not going to be there anymore?
Bears on one occasion like to jump out at people in those caves. It was one bear, and it was actually the cast member who came upon probably a sleeping bear in Tom Sawyer Island in the caves there.
Right.
Now, I think that this is one. We always knew that Tom Sawyer Island was in danger, and I had hoped that they would actually put a Tiana area over there. I think that they could have done private parties, maybe put a some kind of a drawbridge or something that they could put there so that people could walk across and you could have private events on that island. If you're going to do that, it would have been an excellent place for that, and to have your Tiana's place or whatever there. But they're going to destroy it. And the Rivers of America, obviously, that is something that they have no priority for. The riverboats, I don't think those are a priority for the company. They're too kitschy. They don't have any IP attached to it that they want to be associated with. So now they're going to get rid of it for the biggest, probably most commercially viable John Lasseter franchise that they've had in the past, that being Cars, with Mater and
it would be pretty cool if it was Incredibles. That Incredibles area, that would be kind of dope. But it doesn't fit Magic Kingdom,
I'm not even going to say Mater's big catchphrase here, but I don't know. Obviously, they're going to be doing more Cars, and Cars is a big deal out there at Disneyland. It's one of the most immersive lands that they have. They're going to be bringing this over here. The Villains Land, these are 2 attractions a piece, and of course, lots of shopping that's going to be going in here. I want to bring up something that Bob Iger said on an earnings call very quickly. They said that they have enough room for 7 lands. And I don't know if they were referring to globally or just in America, but on the call and then at the D23 panel, they filled in the gaps for what those 7 lands would be. And I'm just going to say Tropical America's Land, which is not a new land. It's a retheme of an existing land. Avatar Land, which they have because of Disneyland Forward. Monstropolis, which is going to be tearing out something else and putting in Monstropolis. Villains Land and Cars Land. That's 5 right there. And for the most part, other than the Disneyland Forward thing, this sounds like they're not actually using any new land in order to do this. They're transforming what exists in the space. I'm kind of glad they didn't announce a 5th gate, but I just don't like this. This is, I don't want to say it's paving paradise and putting up a parking lot. They are going to fill in this presumably with concrete and utilidors and putting in whatever this is. I hope it's pretty. New Fantasyland. I like New Fantasyland more than I like the original Fantasyland. I know.
Well, at least he likes New Fantasyland. You missed the Liberty Bell. You're gonna miss the Liberty Bell. That's the boat, right? Yeah. You've been on that riverboat so many times. Or Tom Silent number. Yeah, new generation won't get it, and people that's not what people go to anymore. No, it's just not. You know?
Sacrilege to say that parks should be transformed. I don't like this though. Vash, why do they do what they do?
um Granted, I do somewhat agree with him that I don't like that I don't like cars in that area. However, it's kind of the only thing that technically makes sense if they were going to do something, right? And it's not like I don't like it completely. I would say I am maybe 65% don't like it. Maybe 60-40 don't like it. I could be 50-50 on it. Because I don't care much for the boat. I'm tired of that thing blowing its horn every 30 seconds. It annoys me, right? Never been on Tom Sawyer. Don't care for it. I don't mind it. Right? It makes sense because we need more rides, you know? Magic Kingdom, I mean, Magic Kingdom has a lot of rides, but still, it still needs more rides. So let's see what he says. Let's see. I kind of agree with him that I don't like cars there, but it's the thing that most fits there. So it makes sense to me. So I'm okay with it.
It's the path of least resistance for them because there were some operational challenges if you were to maintain the river and
path of least resistance. That's perfect. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Have the area behind it open, accessible to the public, right? There were problems, operational problems with maybe foot traffic and how to get people back there, and also you have to maintain the dock that is used to maintain the Liberty Bell itself. So I understand there were issues, there were complications with that. Disney of yore, they would have found a way to make this work. Even Disney of 5 years ago, they would have found a way to make it work. At least that's what we saw with Disneyland's Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. They were able to maintain that river, actually make it better in some instances, and have their cake and eat it too. In this way, it's like, nope, we're going to get rid of Rivers of America in a bizarre way. If you see on your screen right here, in the immediate vicinity of Rivers of America, there's all this green space. There's the Walt Disney World enjoys the blessing of size, and yet we can only replace Jonas. We can't actually expand, and it's ridiculous. And by the way, Jonas, Josh Giamaro specifically, he knew all this stuff was coming. He understood that these are the moves that they were going to make, and he decided not to share any of that relevant information at the Parks panel or even at D23 itself. People will note that they opened various segments of D23, the show floor, with a lot of these concepts and models and so forth that they had touted it the day before, leaving it for the last day. People were trying to get into those areas, which were disparate and removed from each other, and it was pure chaos. But Josh Giamaro, this, I gotta be honest, it's cowardice. It's cowardice not to tell people what people were going to lose until after. And they did this before with Great Movie Ride and Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. When Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway was touted during the actual parks panel itself, everybody was like, ooh, yay, we're going to get a Mickey Mouse attraction. And then they let the cat out of the bag after that, saying, well, we're going to get rid of Great Movie Ride for this Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. And now we experience the same thing the day after, Jonas. The day after the D23 Expo has officially concluded and everybody's gone home. Now they drop this news on us. And it's insulting. It's maddening.
It's insulting. He sounds really mad about that. I don't know if that's for clicks or they just don't like any decision that they do, maybe. Now, you know that's what they're gonna do, right? You know they're not gonna tell you everything when they announce those. They're not going to tell you what you're losing. They're only going to announce what they're building, right? That's the whole point of the expo, is to have the most cheers and the least amount of jeers, right? So they're not going to tell you what they get rid of at the panels, you know? If that was me, I wouldn't do that either. I would say, now granted, you may lose something, but it's going to be something that most people don't really like anyway, right? But I feel like he's nitpicking because he probably knows this, right? But just like how Jack from Disney Newscast said, you have to maintain this track. And if you expand out here, now you can build all this stuff first, but eventually you're going to have to come to terms with connecting this land from this side of the track to this side of the track. So you're going to have the train down. And the train was recently down last year because they were rebuilding it. They also had the Tiana thing. They had Tron over there. So they had to rebuild this or stop the track for a while. So, yeah, they could use this. Absolutely. But why use this land now when they can use this land now and then save this land for the other land that could be coming in 10 years down the road? They already have this, and this is wasted land. Look at this. Look at all this. It's wasted land, right? Barely anybody goes here. Okay? It's nothing. It's not facilitating a lot of people. It's not getting people to buy tickets to Disney World. I mean, come on now. All this land, yes, I would definitely get rid of that. Get it out. We don't want people in the water. We don't want gators in the water. Nobody was paying attention to the concept art. Well, true. That is true. Also, they may have not had time enough to pay attention to the concept art when they're actually in the stands watching this stuff. You know, they just like, oh, cool, Cars Land. Oh, it's gonna be cool. And then that, it's up for 10 seconds and then people forget about it. So people don't have time to process, what's actually happening. So they show you, they just don't tell you, right up front. Which is fine. You can't give them everything right out of the gate. So I do feel like they're nitpicking. I do feel like they're just trying to, I feel like it's a drama, almost drama tube-ish, like they're just trying to, and I know they're probably mean well, right? Where it's, they want to see the company do good as I want to see the company do. But you also do have to understand that there's other things at play here. There's the shareholders, there's merchandising, there's the logistics of everything, getting approval for the land, having to restructure this whole land just so they could be ready to build stuff on, whereas they already have this kind of, already kind of pre-leveled and everything for them so they can go to work quicker. I mean, there's things at play here, right? And I feel like they're just complaining a little bit. I don't mind constructive criticism, but I feel like they're just doing it just because, right? Like just trying to get views. But I don't know what it is.
Vash, I think this is the most ranty that you've ever been on this channel, and I appreciate it. I mean, I'm serious. I've never seen you this way, and I have to say I agree with you. I think there are ways that they could have announced this if they started right off the bat and said New Frontierland and said that they were transforming the entire area. I think that maybe people could have accepted that a lot of things are changing and some of the things are staying the same. But in this case, they're. I don't see any water on that concept art.
Okay, so I do kind of agree with him. World and lots of people have changed much. Yeah, exactly. Much simpler, innocent ways. Yeah, it's a new world now. Yeah, exactly. I do agree with Jonas here. He did say like he could have worded it maybe a little bit differently. Could have called it the New Frontierland. He could have said it in that way so people had a little bit more of an understanding of what may happen with Frontierland. Um, but I mean, you take 2 seconds to think about it, and you're like, all right, well, there's that big piece of area, Tom Sawyer. I don't feel like anyone's gonna go to Tom Sawyer a lot, so it would it would be smart to just get rid of all that stuff. But I like the way Jonas put it. He could have kind of like worded it in a certain way. But that's I feel like that's just corporate speak. It's always corporate speak with that, and so you just kind of have to let things go in a way, right?
Despite there's the fact that there is a dock still existing on that concept art. I'm trying to think what is even additive from that panel. I guess I guess Cars Land is additive. I guess Villains Land is additive. I'm kind of getting at least Villains is more than one IP. Cars is yet another single IP land. Here's the deal when it comes down to it. I really wonder how much of this is directly because they look at Epic Universe and how Epic Universe did their announcements, and they said, we have to respond. This is the actual response. Instead of Disney saying Epic Universe is a response to Disney. Yes, it is a response to the fact that there is a theme park space in Orlando that I guess was created by Disney. Epic Universe is not a reaction to Pandora. Epic Universe is not a reaction to fill in the blank here. Epic Universe is its own thing, just like David S. Pumpkins. Vash, I can't wait to see what happens over the next 6 years when they wall this entire section of the park off and everybody goes, what's going on over there? And sometime in 2030, when they finally premiere Cars Land and Villains Land, what goes into this space? What we will have gained after what we have lost? There's something to be said for the ambiance of a theme park. I'm also kind of surprised they didn't announce some kind of big change to the
2030, it shouldn't take that long. I mean, 2029, 5 years. Well, I mean, yeah, it's almost 2030, so yeah, I guess you could be right. But to be honest, they already had this stuff kind of in the works. They knew they had to respond to Epic Universe because they knew that Epic Universe is inching closer to them. So they already had these kind of things brewing because of what Epic Universe.
Hall of Presidents, since that one isn't very in vogue either. Vash, wrap us up here and try to keep it clean, buddy.
Absolutely, 100%. Well, to go from 1770s America to 1890s Old West to 1920s New Orleans to contemporary Northern California with Cars, I don't think that's a good move right there. This is all precipitated by attempting to change Splash Mountain into Tiana's, stripping that cohesive theme from that whole thing, and now we're trying to rectify that by broadening out what it means to be actually Frontier or Frontierland, and it's not good. They are ruining one of the hearts of a beloved castle park of Walt's original vision there. There was a time, Jonas, when Frontierland actually used to occupy a third of all of Disneyland, and that's been slowly shrunk back. But I'll give the
Okay. I gotta listen to it again.
what it Splash Mountain into Orleans to contemporary Northern California with cars. I don't think that's a good move right there. This is all precipitated by attempting to change Splash Mountain into Tiana.
I will give them that they probably should have gave Tiana her own ride. I do, however, think that they were already contemplating, they're already talking about putting lands in places instead of just rides. So with that being said, they didn't want to make a whole Tiana land area and the whole New Orleans. They just wanted to get Tiana a ride, and that's what they did. Granted, I wish they could have gave her her own ride, but I digress. I wasn't partial to Splash Mountain. I could care less about Splash Mountain. And Tiana's ride's fine. I like Tiana's. So there's that. Frontierland. I feel like Frontierland was kind of basic. You know what I mean? You know, the whole thing could have been villains, yeah, but they always wanted 2 lands. They always wanted to add 2 lands there. Granted, they probably could have put the whole thing as a villains land and have like 4 villains or something, and have like a whole bunch of things for it. That would have been cool. That actually would have probably been a lot better than just adding Cars Land. But like they said, like Jack said, Cars makes a lot of money and all that merchandise and stuff. So that was kind of a smart move for them to do that. But then once they put Tiana right in the middle of Frontierland, they had to do something with Frontierland. And just because Frontierland is changing doesn't mean it's not Frontierland. Frontierland is not only about just bare mountains. It's about frontier. It's about wilderness, and and it's also about mountains, also about desert, just frontier. It's like you searching for things, being adventurous and stuff like that. So I'm okay with that.
Is stripping that cohesive theme from that whole thing, and now we're trying to rectify that by.
I will grant him that, yeah, they did kind of strip it once they put Tiana there, and so them now, yes, trying to rectify the cohesiveness of Frontierland, it does kind of make sense in that. So I get that point.
Broadening out what it means to be actually frontier or Frontierland, and it's not good. They are ruining one of the hearts of a beloved castle park of Walt's original vision there. There was a time, Jonas, when Frontierland actually used to occupy a third of all of Disneyland, and that's been slowly shrunk back. But I'll give the Team Disney Anaheim and the Disneyland managers credit that they were able to preserve Rivers of America, at least at Disneyland, but to lose that at Magic Kingdom, I mean, I've seen the long-range plans for Walt Disney World. I did see that Magic Kingdom's Rivers of America wasn't on that long range. This was like a 50-year plan. I never thought I would actually see the day, but here it is. It's just very tragic, Jonas. But please, we want to go ahead and leave it to our commenters right here. What do you think about all this? Do you think that this is an upgrade or maybe a necessary downgrade, as we have heard from some of our
a necessary downgrade?
Attempt to justify some of these changes.
What's the downgrade of losing a boat and an island that you just walk through, and gaining actual rides and actual characters that you like?
Please let us know in your comments below what you think about all of this. If you like this video, please like this video. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, please go ahead and do that right now. And make sure you follow us for all the news. That should be fun.
Thanks for watching.
I feel like they're purists or something, and you think, what made you? I mean, he said it himself. Like, the 50-year plan was to get rid of Rivers of America and everything. So you knew it was coming, right? it's not feasible. It's a waste of space. It really is. That's how I feel. I feel it's a waste of space. I've never been on those because I didn't want to because it felt boring, you know. Now the boat, granted, if you're on the second part of the second top part of the boat, you can get great views. That'll be cool, you know. So when I go, that'll probably be what I do is I'll get on the second floor of it. I'll get some good views and everything and that's it, you know. I'll probably record a video and I'll post it and that'll be that. And then same thing with Tom Sawyer. I'll probably just get on it. I'll walk through it, do all that stuff, and then that'll be that. I'm not going to probably do it ever again because I feel like it's a waste of time. It's going to be probably boring. All right, Felix, I appreciate you, man. Thanks so much. I'm almost done here anyway. I appreciate you, man. So yeah, I feel like they're just crapping on it just because. Let me see. I think it was no coincidence that they wanted to announce a location till the next day. There wasn't an audience directing it. Seriously, I'll get over it, guy. That's exactly what I. However, it makes us more skeptical of what they did, of why they did the same with Monsters. If they know what it's going to will it receive, because they're trying to boost their stock with big announcements. They hate Frontier American. You don't know that. You don't know that. They are destroying the Disney parks. Wah. Make room for progress. Can't do it fast enough. Does anyone really go there? Exactly. Does anyone really go there? It's a waste of space. Exactly. I would rather Disney never make another edition, never add another ride, never change a single thing rather than destroy. What? What is this that I'm listening? What? Are you kidding me? You'd rather them not do anything and them keep raising the price on you. So then you'd be basically afforded out of going to your precious Frontierland. This is horrific. I'm completely disgusted by the idea to wipe out Frontierland and fill in the water. Are they kidding me? I've never seen any company try so hard to kill itself. Is this the company being run by people hate it? It damn sure looks like if this really happens, I'm going to be super pissed. I hope all the Legacy fans speak out. If this really happens, I'm going to be super pissed. Well, be pissed, sir, because it's going to happen. It's going to be happening. Does anyone really go there? It's a waste of. Yeah. Yep. I just have to. Going on here, I bet they got some new Disney. Yeah. I have to because There you go. I posted it. Oh man, that's so great. That's good though. That's good though. Can you see? Can you even see what I wrote? There. I really feel like trolling people, but I don't. What's up, Jaden? How you doing? Yeah, they announced some movies, but none of them look great. You know what I mean? Maybe Incredibles 3 and stuff, but um let me see. I just want to see what these things, what they people are. Wow, I'm truly shocked they are taking it too far. Disney's anti-American camp. Or it's the elephant in the room also, but they are building a Walt Animatronic, so it's all good now. I disagree. They will be showcasing the outdoors of our natural parks more. Build West is kind of dated. Started to think Disney is getting desperate. People cannot create. Yeah, okay. All classic Americana will be replaced at. Some sort has always been used as a resting area, a place to unwind after hours of walking, standing. What? Since when? The worst CEOs of mega company and the destruction. Good job, Bob. There's documented how Disney Park changed the world by making it different. Bob is making it go backwards. There's only so much until the Gen X crowd, who were kids with Disney Open, who make the bulk of their money spent there before they had enough away. Never been happy to not see my childhood either erased from existence. Yes, I was there opening day and did in fact ride the Mark Twain. Essence cares. The food counter on Townsend was Aunt Polly's. For the sake of progress, they will be dismantling a large portion of the park, so that means more rides will be offline for longer than ever before. This during a time when Epic Universe. Wait, what? What is being dismantled? They will be dismantling a large portion of the park, so that means more rides will be offline for longer than any before. What rides? What rides are you speaking of? Nothing is being taken offline. What are you talking about? Which rides do you speak of? Wait, which rides do you speak of? Remember that Disney shortened the Rivers of America and Tom Sawyer in Disneyland at the expense of closing down some classic attractions that are quintessential Walt Disney over an extended time for Star Wars Land that didn't sound like these are same mistakes in Florida. Which rides do you speak of? Doesn't seem like any rides are going down. they're so it's so funny because it seems they're just so salty, right? I will agree that but we don't want Radiator Spring. To remove the rivers of America is the prospect of so horrifying. Much stuff is being added to manage new cracks should have been programmed. Otherwise, we all need more. They are. They do. Hollywood, HS, and AK. Are getting new racks. Oh man, it could just go on and on, these people, man. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Okay. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done with it. All right. So yeah. I'm going to be done ranting. But yes, I guess that's just gonna do it for me today. Actually, this is, like I said, it was gonna be a short stream. I can't be on too long. I got other things I need to be doing, but I just wanted to kind of go over some of that stuff. But yeah, I appreciate all you guys watching. Don't forget to hit that like and sub button. I greatly appreciate you guys, and we'll see you next time.